Hi, I'm Brendan, and in today's video we're going to be going over emergency pack downs. So this is what we may use if we're in the water and we've had a problem. Often it can be that the wind's died down, but possibly you may have an issue with your lines, you can't relaunch the kite, and essentially your kite's in the water, or you've had to maybe pull your safety system and you are trying to get back to the beach. So we can pull our safety now, which will pull out this line, and the kite would go to this position in the water. We're just going to have some pressure on this line. And from here we've made the decision that perhaps if you were being pulled back to the beach quite quickly, maybe it's cross onshore or onshore, you may just wait in this position. But let's say we're a bit further out, it's going to take a while to get back like this, or there's no wind, very light wind, and you're not really being pulled back to the beach fast. And what we want to do is get to our kite to help us get back, or possibly because a boat may come to pick us back up. What we're going to do is we're going to work our way along this line, very carefully, never wrapping it round your fingers, and we carefully work our way towards the bar. Now that we've got this far along, it's really important that we secure off this line. We don't ever want to just get to the kite with all these loose lines around, so it's important that we secure all the lines. Rather than just taking all of them and wrapping them up in a big mess, it would also be dangerous because the kite could then re-drift away if the wind suddenly picked up or it flipped over. And so what we need to do is, with this one line, start to wrap it around the bar like so to try and secure it. The reality is, of the emergency pack down, imagine you're in the water now, you maybe even saw how that line got a little twisted then. It's not that easy to do, and it's often not perfect. We then want to make a loop, pop that round and pull it tight. You can do that 1 or 2 times to try and secure that line off. From there, what we're going to do, you also have to imagine we're floating in the water and just our heads up. So from there, what we're going to do is we're going to carefully take all of the lines like so, make sure we get all of them, and then we're going to start wrapping them on the bar like so, probably swimming towards the kite at the same time. Often if you're in the water, it might not be quite as neat as this, especially if you haven't done it that many times before. But the most important thing now is that we make sure we have all 4 lines. If you ever feel a line by your foot and you think maybe you haven't got all of them, go around again like this in the water. Make sure you get all of the lines and keep wrapping them up. Once we've got to our kite, the next step is that we want to secure all the lines off to make sure they don't fall off again in the water. Some bars have little bungees here, which we can pull around the bar to get them to sail off like that. We could do a similar thing, again, like so, little half hitch, like we did with a safety line, but always be careful, never just have it on your fingertips and slip them on. Try never to get anything around your arm or around your hands that much. Once we get to this stage, we're then going to assess our situation again and see what we want to do. Normally we're going to want to flip the kite over and use it as a sail to get back. Alternatively, we may actually want to pack down the kite because perhaps a fishing boat is coming to pick us up, which might not know how to deflate our kite. In the water, that can be a bit harder to do, so we'll show again a way to do it. You might want to work to your edge of the kite and then flip it around like so. From this position, we can work our way along the kite and take the bridle and actually use the bridle of the kite to make it like a sail in the water. We might want to be lying down in the water, using it as a sail to get back. Bearing in mind with this technique, we can go crosswind this way, crosswind the other way, and downwind easily if there is wind. But again, you can't get upwind, so if you're in an offshore spot, this can be a little tricky. So again, you assess the situation and you decide what to do. You have to think, if you're in the water and somebody's maybe looking for you, by keeping your kite inflated, you're quite a big object for people to see. It's even better if your kite's still in the air, if you are ever in a situation where you're too far out or something's gone wrong, but just by keeping your kite inflated in the sea, it's a bit more chance of being spotted. Let's say a boat is coming over, it's on the way over, and you know that they probably don't know about kites. Perhaps it's here and it's a local fishing boat, and what we want to do is we now want to deflate the kite and actually have it in a package we can pass to the boat nice and easily, keeping all the lines out in the water so they don't get caught in a propeller of the boat or anything like that. So we've already clipped off our struts of the kite. If you don't do this, I know some people don't, it's very important we now check that your struts are clipped off. We then have a little chip here with the core guides and deflate that. What we can then do is put the bar in the kite, try and get all the lines in as best as possible. You could wrap them around your bar, and then we start to kind of bring the kite over and try and roll it up like so. Again, it's never going to be perfect, but try your best. And again, an important thing is that we don't want loads of lines floating around. These can really get around your legs and stuff like this. Once we've got to this stage, we could take off our leash. We could wrap that around. You could take off your harness and actually put it around the kite in the water like so. And if somebody came with a boat or something, you've then got a nice package you can try and pass them, which is easy to manage. You could swim with this, but it's not going to be too easy. Also to mention with the emergency pack down is when this whole situation happens, if you've got your board with you, you can have the board on your feet and actually try and do the thing with it on your feet. But again, it's not that easy and it depends on the whole situation. A few important points on that, just to recap, is after you pulled your safety, you want to secure that first line, do the half hitch to secure that first safety line. Then you take all the lines, wrap it up, you get to the kite. You then assess the situation, you think, can you get back, just self-rescuing, is there wind too? If there was no wind and it wasn't far, possibly you could put your leash on the pump part of the kite and swim, but again, it's not easy with a big kite, but it is a possibility, and it's good to have a range of tools in your toolbox to know all the options and to just constantly assess the situation. There is no perfect way to do this, and ideally you want to try and avoid the situation in the first place, but it's essential to know how to do that. So that's the emergency pack down. I hope that might be of some help. Thanks and bye.